Obviously 200 games this week. I guess probably a milestone that might have crept up on you a little bit quickly. I guess how are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, look, probably crept up on me a bit sooner than I would have thought. And obviously, with everything going on in the club, probably haven't had too much of a chance to think about it, to be honest. I think that's one of those things that you sort of reflect on at the end of the year, and even when you sort of finish your career. So obviously, very excited and very proud of the milestone, but just more excited and hopefully getting a win on the weekend.
You've always kind of been someone that doesn't really like the attention and the milestones and that kind of thing. I guess it's something that you thought, when your career started all those years ago, that you'd still be here, you'd still be playing first grade?
No, definitely not. You don't sort of think about those things when you're young. You get your opportunity, and you're so thankful to be part of the team, and you take your sort of first couple of years in your stride, and then everything after that is just about being a better player, making yourself a better player each and every year. You don't really think about, I want to play this many games, or I want to play till I'm 35 or whatever. You're constantly wanting to be a better player for yourself and for the team.
2006, mate, obviously your first grade debut, you're obviously the youngest player ever to play for West Tigers. I guess looking back, is there anything about that week and the game that kind of stands out to you that you hang on to?
With the week, I was 18th man at the time, and I think the last training session of the captain's run before we went up to Brisbane, Paul Federer did his hammy, and it was simple. I was just training in and out as an 18th man does, and then Sheen's come up to me and just tapped me on the shoulder and said, "You're in, mate. You're playing this week." So I sort of had to get a contract signed pretty quickly, because I didn't actually have an NRL contract at that stage. I was just going up for a bit of experience. So and because I was 17, I had to get my dad to sign it. That was a bit different.
And you came back and sat an exam on the Monday?
Yeah, had an English exam from memory. Because I think it was the HC trial. So obviously I worked pretty hard at school and over a couple of years. So I had an exam on Monday, and obviously being the game on Sunday, and getting the win. Came back on the flight that afternoon with all the team, and sat next to Chris Harrington, and my dad sort of said to me after the game, make sure that I still focus on my exams, that I've worked pretty hard, and footy can end at any time, so just make the most of the exams and still work hard. And got my textbooks out and started studying, and Chris Harrington next to me just looked at me and goes, "What are you doing, you idiot? You've just won your first grade game. Put those away, enjoy it." So I mean, it was good to have that side of things, the boys to keep me lighthearted, and obviously, parents to keep me grounded and make sure stay hard working.
Wasn't long until you were a regular in that team, and kind of then the appearances kept kind of racking up. Soon playing for Australia and City Origin and that kind of thing, and for New South Wales as well. I think when you think about those kind of rep games, what is it that kind of stands out to you from those?
Obviously, your first Australian jersey I got, that was very special. Got my chance, I think it was 2010 in that tour, and by that stage I think Australia won the first few Four Nations games, so all those players that hadn't had a run got a chance to have a run, and just the way it happened, usually in those type of games it's against one of the lower tier teams, but it happened to be against New Zealand in Eden Park. So that was just a great experience with the packed crowd there, playing the Kiwis in the first ever test. So definitely something I remember. And probably the other part of that, I think the Four Nations final in 2011, getting to be part of that, I think that entire series, and winning that Four Nations final, being in that team, to play in Darren Lockyer's last ever game. I think that's probably something, at the time I sort of knew this was a special moment, and definitely something I remember for a while.
Much it's kind of always made, compared to with the hip injury, is a bit of a defining moment for you. I guess looking back, how did you approach the injury, and I guess kind of coming back from it?
Yeah, look, when I first got injured at the time, obviously, the first sort of couple of hours or days, it's just about, how long is this going to be, what's the outcome, because you sort of don't know. And it was pretty tough after a couple of days, hearing different stories about people and from doctors saying that could be through threatening, for his blood supply to the leg. So that was sort of hard to hear, but I think, and I had good support around me, for people just telling me not to think about those things, just focus on the little things. So for me, I just set a target of, when do I want to come back? I'm just going to set a target when I want to start playing again, and I'm just going to focus on that, nothing else. And spoke to Peter Musa, the physio, here now, and said, well, what's the quickest anyone's come back from a hip injury? And he said, around 3 months. So I said, all right, well, I'll give myself for like 100 days or 90 days, and I'll come back and I'm playing this year. And everyone sort of thought I was joking, but I sort of kept saying, okay, this is day 26, this is day 30, and for me that kept my mind off everything, that everything else is going on around me, and just kept me focused on the little things. And Pete was really good with me in that sense. He sort of said, okay, let's try and run by this day and do this by this day. So I just had little goals, and before you know it, I was out running and close to making a comeback.
I've got to ask, the nickname Rowdy, where is that coming from?
Well, that came from Benny Gallier. So obviously, being a 17-year-old, coming to play first grade, and I played the last 5 games of the 2006 season. So I mean, I was still in high school, and because I was still doing exams and doing school, I don't think I went to training sort of early in the week. I just trained later in the week, so I didn't really get to be around the boys. So I was, quite shy and didn't say much. And then you with guys that we didn't see on the weekend, and it was probably, and then even then in the pre-season, I played Australia's schoolboys, so I didn't get to train a lot with them. And it was only really early in the 2017 season that I was around the boys and had a win and got to know the boys a lot better, and just started talking like myself. And everyone was like, "Who's this kid? Like, pipe down, you've been a bit loud," and just came from there. So a bit of an ironic, I think.
You played in some huge games throughout your career, I guess, as you're trying to talk about the Australian games and City Origins and some big club games as well. Are there any that kind of stand out other than kind of your debut and those obvious ones?
Yeah, always some of the games that, some of those close games that you win, and with plenty of support. I think there was a game, obviously, against Melbourne, I think at Leichhardt. We won, I don't know what night it was, but, 9, 10 wins in a row, and they were going well at that time. And we had a good win, and, I played well. And I think probably there's a good win up here. It would have been 2011, I think. And it was a couple of weeks after I come back from my hip, and again we were struggling at the time, had lost 3 or 4 in a row, and we just got a really tough win, and we ended up winning every game all the way until we got beaten in the semi-final. So just games like that, not so much where I sort of played well, but just games where you're sort of not expected to win, and or you come together as a team. So just little games like that.
1 try away from the club's all-time top try scorer record, as well as you've kind of moved in from the wing to the centres to the second row, now you're getting further and further infield. Is there any tries that I guess kind of stand out to you as memorable ones?
Obviously the first one, getting your first try, that's always special. I don't know, to be honest. Probably the ones that seal the game, they're always the ones you remember. I think they're the ones you can celebrate. So you sort of, I've never been one, probably as everyone knows, just to get up and celebrate a try, because I think there's no point celebrating an individual achievement if your team goes on to lose a game. So the tries that you score and that's the game, you seal the game, they're the ones you really can enjoy. So any of those ones, of course.
Only the 4th player to reach the 200-game milestone for West Tigers, and throughout basically a decade of football at the club, you've played with so many great players. Is there plenty of memories, I'm sure, have been kind of formed in there, and friendships for life? Are there guys in particular that you're so grateful that you got the chance to play with? Yeah,
there was plenty of guys that came through, and we were all so close. But I think that sort of team around the sort of 2009, 10, 11, obviously we had a bit of success and not a lot of change with players. The team there was really close. A lot of good mates for life. And see guys like Bryce Gibbs, Liam Fulton, Chrissy Heinton, Bo Ryan, Tim Moulton, Benji, Hayford, Gareth Ellis, Mike Bunny, all those sort of guys. Still really close. Keith Galloway obviously was here for a lot longer. So plenty of guys there probably that I missed as well. But really close friendships, and I think that's probably why I was so successful in that period.
Inducted as a life member of the club a couple of months ago. For someone who's still such an active player and still a part of the club's leadership group, how much did that mean to you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock, to be honest. Because I think everyone sort of thinks of, and even I think of a life membership as someone once they're retired or moved on from footy. So it was a shock, and I don't know if I was thinking it was a tap on the shoulder to retire or something. I'm thinking, well, is someone going to tell me they want me to retire or something? They give me the old push along. So it was a shock, and I sort of, again, was a bit taken aback by it, but very honoured and privileged, obviously, to still be playing and get that honour.
What's the focus for you now? I guess 200 games down, there's goals that you keep setting and keep ticking off. Still only 28, so plenty more years ahead of you. What's the goals that you want to keep achieving in the years to come?
Well, I still just obviously want to keep becoming a better footy player. Only being my second and third sort of full season as a back rower. So I always want to keep improving my game and getting better. And for me personally, it's just to help this team, this club, get back to being a top 4 side. I said about sort of that team around the 9, 10, 11 mark where we were sort of around in that top 8, and to be honest, probably should have won a grand final, probably let one slip, to be honest. So I just want to get back, help do whatever I can for the team to get the club back there.
Mate, you've been a fantastic servant and plenty more years to come. All the best tomorrow night, mate, and we can't wait to see you on the field.
Cheers, thanks, mate.